introduce the new one. It's a better paper trail.
Maybe at the same meeting?
Excuse me?
Who told you that? Who told you that it should be repealed?
That was advice I received.
From who?
I don't have to disclose.
Would anyone else like to discuss this?
What's so secret?
Sarah,
No big secret.
excuse me,
I-
Sarah.
I would just like to point out one thing about this taxi and limousine ordinance. The process, as Rich just addressed, has totally changed. And the background checks are not done locally anymore. It has gotten very cumbersome in order to follow the process for the checking and processing of these people that want to have these licenses. And I was approached last year about this and did some research on it. And then I was told, well, let's not do it. Let's get through the holidays. The holidays are a bad time of the year. We do have a lot of people in the different restaurant establishments and so on and so forth, so let's let it go. But now it has come up again, and I really do believe that we need to repeal it. Rich has discussed with me some of the things that I told him came up last year in reference to this, and so I think before we start getting all entwined here about doing it simultaneously, I think we should get rid of this, and then as Rich said, at the next meeting, we will bring forth the new ordinance.
Correct.
I just want to.
Sarah, I think the only concern was that we're taking it away, then we won't have anything for a couple weeks until we have the new ordinance.
But
I think
Fran-
that was the only concern.
The Fran is, the problem is that it's not really being enforced as it is.
Well,
That's what I
okay.
heard.
That's it.
It's not being enforced,
Any
we don't
other-
have the manpower.
Any other discussion, something new?
Well, I just want to correct something that Ms. King referenced regarding the background searches as being more cumbersome. In fact, it's less cumbersome because background searches, just as our background searches are for with our volunteers who, by way of any volunteers working with our children, have to. I just had to re-up my kids safe for the Little League. It's not done by the police. That's correct. The people are instructed. The applicants are instructed to go to Sagimorpho, which is online. In fact, there's a link to them from our website. You go. Anybody who's had to go through this sees you schedule an appointment to have it done. You have your fingerprints rolled at a location. They're throughout the state of New Jersey. The results are sent to our police department, and our police department then makes the determination whether or not the person should be given a license. As far as Mr. Diver's point about somehow this is onerous on taxi cab drivers, the fact of the matter is that, and to compare it to the bizarre proposed mercantile license, I don't think does justice to the situation at all. They're not comparable. To try to license every single business in town, including home-based businesses, was absurd. This deals with specifically drivers of taxis, and we're talking about not that many. And all we're asking for is simple public safety. That was the intent of it. With interest, I look to see the improved form of ordinance that's going to be produced by Mr. Dick.
Thank you, John. Patty, did you want to
I
speak?
just want to point out that the business licensing, John, that's on the code books now. It's not being enforced either. And the issue was whether or not we were raising it from $15 to $50, but the fact of the matter is it's not being enforced.
Mayor?
All right, can we?
It's the same with the taxi ordinance. The taxi ordinance, my understanding, is not being enforced. So if we don't have an ordinance after today, it's not going to make any difference.
Mayor?
Excuse me,
Why don't we have-
Rich,
why don't we have-
excuse me, please,
Yeah, I don't
Rich.
think it's a case of
Rich.
not being enforced, I think it's a case of the police having more urgent business to take care of.
Rich Diver,
I'd like to call the question.
may I have a roll call, please? The question is repealing
Wait.
First
section
you call the
3.
question.
Can I have a motion, please, to call the question?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? May I have a roll call on calling the question, please?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Ms. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes.
Mr. Mechanical?
Yes.
Mr. Vorback?
Yes.
Can I have a motion, please, on, it is
It's already been
repealing
moved.
section 3.24 on limousines and taxis. May I
I'll make
have
that motion.
I'll second it.
It's all.
any discussion?
It's already been
Oh, no,
moved and
It's been, may I have a roll call on that, please?
Mr. Brennan?
No.
Ms. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes,
Mr. Mechanico?
Yes.
Mr. Vorback?
No.
Ordinance number 7, 2011, an ordinance of the Borough of Spring Lake Heights amending Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Spring Lake Heights, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, 1987, administration amending Section 2.25.2 on the Environmental Commission. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. What will be the impact of this change with respect to the fact that Ms. Crippen was not reappointed or lost her election and was presently serving as the council representative? Is she going to be on or off the commission according to you? According to Mr. Mechanico. Yeah. Aren't you proposing this?
I gave the motion, yes.
Okay, and I know that you've introduced it in the past. I mean, is this to save Ms. Crippen's position?
No, this ordinance originally was to get them up to code with the state statute, yes.
But it's not, there's no violation of the ordinance with the state statute. I've asked a very direct question. Is Ms. Crippen going to be on or off the commission if we pass this ordinance?
Point of order, Mayor? Mayor?
Mr. Dibble?
Well, the point of order is that I believe this is a continuing legal situation that is in the process of settlement, and I don't think that should be addressed.
Whoa, wait a second. We're going to do public business, and we're not going to give the people the reason for doing the public business?
No one said that was the reason for the
Well,
public
that's
business.
exactly what you just said.
No, I did not.
It
I
most
just said
certainly
we're in
is.
the middle of a legal situation, and we should let that
Well,
pan
what
out.
legal situation are we in the middle of? Ms. Crippen suing us? That's not news. I mean, that's not.
It is a legal situation. You're an attorney. That is a
John.
legal situation.
Where are we?
No doubt, but guess what?
Thank
This.
Could we stop the discussion? Mr. Lane, where are we?
The question that's arisen in the lawsuit, which is public, is that our ordinance, by having this council member term in there, creates this ambiguity. You're given a 3-year term, and it says council member. The ordinance is unclear of what happens if you have a 3-year term and you're no longer a council member. It's completely unclear. The council member designation is not in the state statute. It doesn't say you can't, but I think it should because you won't have this problem. You can always put a council member on every January if you want. But the problem is putting a council member on for 3 years, when they only have 1 year left in their term, causes a problem just like this. My position is that this will clarify whether or not the 3-year term that was received by Mrs. Crippen ended when her term as council member ended, or continues until the date on there, which was 12/31/12.
Retroactively. So in other words, she's going to get back on the commission retroactively.
She's never going to have been off.
She's never off.
And that is your
She was
opinion, or is that
under
is that a
the
legal
law.
opinion? Are you giving me?
Because we
That's
have.
what I believe would be the, you asked what would be the result of this ordinance. That's my opinion would be the result of this ordinance.
So the result of this ordinance is to put Ms. Crippen back on the commission.
That is the result, yes.
Well,
In your opinion?
Yes.
because we have another written opinion by your predecessor.
Well, in my opinion, she was never off to begin with.
Well, in
Well-
Mr. Raffetto's opinion, she was, so. And that, he was our borough attorney at the
We're
time.
back to that two-lawyer problem again.
Pardon?
We're back to that two-lawyer problem again. 2 lawyers, 2 opinions.
Well, it seems that whenever the majority wants a particular opinion, you're willing to decide on the side of the majority, regardless of what the other lawyer has to say. Sure, motion to call the question.
Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Any other, may I have a roll call, please, on calling the question?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Ms. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
yes,
Mr. Mechanico?
Yes.
Mr. Vorback?
No.
Okay, now may I have a motion, please, on the ordinance number 7, 2011? May I have a roll call, please? May I have a motion?
You had a motion in a second, you see a roll.
Okay, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Brennan?
No.
Ms. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Ms. King?
yes,
Mr. Mechanico?
Yes.
Mr. Vorback?
No.
We're up to consent agenda, resolutions, and at this time, I would like to pull resolution 61 and 62 to do those separately, and I'd like to do those first. Is that appropriate?
That's fine.
So resolution number 61, we're pulling out of the consent agenda. Appointing Patrolman Raymond Kwiatkowski to regular status. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And may I have some discussion?
Yes.
Councilman Mechanico.
Well, hopefully this is good news. All right? And we have a patrolman moving up from probationary status to regular status. They've been acting in professional, courteous, and respectful ways towards our residents, and they've been living up to the police motto of protecting and serve. I remember interviewing the two gentlemen, and they sat down here and they were stern looking and real formal.
And nervous.
And nervous. And as I was observing in the back there, I noticed smiles on their faces. So I was glad to see that they're a little relaxed now. And we're glad to have them aboard because they are a testament to the department and the community. So I congratulate you on your regular patrolman status.
I guess Ray, is he out on duty or? He'll be back. Well, let's go on then. Can we hold that for a minute? Sure. We'll go on to resolution 62, appointing Patrolman Ken Hager to regular status. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And now, is there any discussion?
Yes, in addition to what I just said about Ray, Ken, in addition, has passed the state EMT test, so
That's right.
he would be the first on an emergency call, so we have someone qualified to take care of any resident that may be in distress before the first aid gets there. Did I state